Glenn here, and it is Funko box time. Today I'm going over the Legion of Collectors box from DC and Funko. Obviously the theme this month for March 2017 is Superman. This is an interesting box. Of the Legion of Collectors boxes, so far, this is one that I've least looked forward to, and I'm going to kind of go into that stuff later in the video. But for now, as always, spoilers abound for these boxes. So I've already looked through this stuff. I'm just going to do a straight review, kind of skip the unboxing part. But as far as the box goes, pretty standard Legion of Collectors box, including the comic panels inside the box. So there's Superman right there. Alright, to start off, pretty standard for the Funko boxes, we've got a patch and a pin. So let's do the patch first. There's Superman. It's a bird, it's plain, it's Superman, Legion of Collectors. I like the patches that have kind of a classic, iconic look to them, but the implementation, the design of Superman, I don't think looks really great. In fact, looking up close, it looks like, is that Vampire Superman or what's going on there? So his face just looks kind of weird. It's hard to do in a patch like this to get a whole lot of detail, but it just seems like this wasn't put together all that well compared to some of the other patches we've got. The pin, however, it's hard to go wrong with the pin. Hopefully it focuses for me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. That's better. Just a classic pose, Superman, Legion of Collectors. Not a whole lot going on with the pin that's different or interesting, but it's pretty standard. Superman looks alright for the pin for the box. Alright, let's move on to the shirt. The shirt is a nice classic Superman shirt. This light kind of baby blue with Superman across the top. And obviously a pop shirt, as almost always. The Man of Steel from Krypton, here to save our world. So, good looking shirt. I like the color. I like the main color. It's a color you don't see very much. And they did a good job with putting Superman out front and center with the Daily Planet behind him, sweeping through the city. So, good looking shirt. As always, you know, I know people get tired of pop shirts, but this one looks really good. I love just the classic Superman lettering up on the top there. Alright, standard comic. Got the comic with the pop cover. This is Superman #1. Who knows what Superman #1 it would be. I haven't delved into it yet, but again, pretty standard comic book that you get in these boxes. Nothing thrilling, but also nothing that you don't expect. Alright, now into the main stuff. We've actually got 3 figures. Starting with the Pocket Pop Keychain Superman. And this one is cool because, if you see there, it's one of those in-motion little keychains, which works really good for a keychain if you're going to carry it around with you. So let's get it out here real quick. And here we go. I like the figures that have that sense of motion and flying. You know, there's a couple of Superman figures, especially from Batman vs Superman, where he's in flight. This kind of replicates that in the classic Superman form. But I like keychains, things that you hang from something where he's flying. So that looks really good. It'll be good to hang either from keys or, you know, from the shelves where he's. You can see he's in motion there. So nice looking keychain. I like the Pocket Pops. I don't have too many of them, but they're cool when you get them. All right, what to do next? Let's do this figure. This is a figure that they've not done before. This is obviously they're all exclusive, but this is Superman in his first appearance. Action Comics 1938. This is the only time you'll see this Superman symbol. It was only for that one issue. Not quite a reaction figure, but similar to it. Kind of your traditional articulated action figure. I think this is pretty cool. The comic panels on the back. This is something that, it would have been very easy to stop at the Pop and the Pop keychain, but they tried to throw something a little bit different in there, similar to what they did with the Harley and Joker reaction type figures that they did a while ago for Suicide Squad. This is in a similar vein, but it's a good looking figure. It's one of those that, it's kind of a classic look to it. I like the Action Comics cover, and it's different. It's something you don't see all the time, so that's very cool. All right, and then finally the Pop. So we've got the Pop. This is Pop Heroes number 159, classic Superman in his classic pose. You see the exclusive sticker on it, and then kind of a little different up top. We've got DC and the Superman symbol. A little different than what they've done in the past, because it's not related to a movie or anything special. It's just classic Superman. And he's kind of included in the newer DC superheroes line, along with Supergirl, Power Girl, Cyborg, Batgirl, Black Manta, and Firestorm. So there he is. Let's check him out. Alright, there he is. There's Supes. Now, here's what I like about this Pop. Is it really different? Is it really, something that's unusual and unique? No, but the devil is in the details. There's a lot of things about this Pop that really stand out to me. Number one, the classic pose. You can't go wrong with that. That is the pose that Superman should be in, and he's never been in before in a Pop. So that is iconic right there. But let's get into some of the details. His cape is flowing. It looks like he's standing on top of a building or a mountaintop, and the wind is blowing, and he's ready for action. Look closely too at things like the musculature. So kind of a more muscle-bound Superman. I like to take this and kind of compare it to a older Superman Pop. So if you look at the older, this is the Man of Steel one, which I like. This is a nice Pop. And good design too, but it's very old school Pop, kind of, especially the head. Very boring. And then you compare it to a newer Superman Pop. And Funko has just done some different things that really has brought a lot of life to Pops where they weren't there before. A lot of the Pop haters, they'll point to something like this and say, pretty boring. They all pretty much look the same, different colors, but the poses are all the same, etc. But you look at this Pop, and there's just so much about it that is just representative of Funko just doing a better job with Pops in general. So number one, the hair. Look at the hair. It's a lot more detailed. He's got the curly Q where it should be. It looks like actual, a lot more like hair than this just flat buzz cut type hair on an older Pop. All right, it's got some texture. It's got some weight to it. The other thing I noticed about this Pop, and this is something that Funko has done recently really, really well, is creating expressions in the faces via actual eyebrows. Now you look at a Pop like this, it's blank, it's kind of got the dead eyes, it's like no expression at all, which is kind of a trademark of older Pops. But this one, just with the eyebrows, there's an expression there. It's, he's ready to take on the bad guys, right? It's so much more expressive with really not adding too much other than the eyebrows. Again, if you just comparing it to older Pops, this Pop looks so much cooler. It's a little bit bigger as well. Body proportion is a little bit better. Pops are the big head, small body thing, but this does a really good job of kind of really making it different even though it's pretty standard, there's not too much that's different about it other than the details comparing it to other pop figures. So I just really, really like this pop. It just looks great. There's the Superman symbol on the back with his cape. And it just looks really good. A lot of people that aren't into pops would not really think anything of it. Just say, oh, what's this pop? It's not, not much there. But there's a lot going on there for me. And I just really enjoy this pop figure. So, all right. That's pretty much it. We've got the pop, which I showed you ad nauseum. We've got the Action Comics articulated more classic figure. We've got the pop keychain with him flying through the air. And then the standard patch, which I didn't like that much, actually, because I thought it didn't come out too good. Pin, comic, and very cool shirt. Alright, so there it is. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 if you count the patch and the pin. So here is the spoiler card. A lot of the same things we see on every spoiler card, kind of concept to execution on a lot of the items, including the pop. Kind of see it there. Alright, and then in May, I'm super excited. It's Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, one of my favorite characters, and I'm super excited about both the movie and this Legion of Collectors coming up in a couple of months. So I'm really looking forward to that one. So overall, how do I feel about this box? I said earlier that this was a box I wasn't really looking forward that much to, and the reason is I like Superman. Superman's a classic character. We grew up with Superman, but for me as an adult and as a reader and having a brain that isn't just into the 4-color stuff, Superman's always been kind of the most boring character to me. There's not a whole lot you can go to. Not a lot of places you can go to with Superman. And the reason is, and this is a reason I've always kind of gravitated towards Marvel versus DC, is that you think of the big three in DC, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. All great characters, but they're all epic characters. They all can pretty much beat anything that you put up against them. Now, in recent years, they've tried to do a lot of more of character development, more, hey, let's break the characters down, let's kill them, let's make them a little bit weaker. But for the most part, throughout their history, all three of these characters, particularly Superman, have been, you couldn't go a whole lot of different places with them because they were so all-powerful. And that's always the criticism I've had of the main DC heroes, is that they're over the top, they're grandiose and pretty much impervious to any kind of harm. So I've always been kind of bored by Superman for that. It's been kind of the least interesting to me. That being said, I think this box did a really good job of variety and showcasing the iconicness of Superman in a way that made this a really good box. And it's something that I was worried about. I mean, what can you do with Superman? What kind of different things can you do? I just love the design of the pop. The pop just came out excellent. The fact that they came up with something different for a different kind of figure and harkened back to the very first appearance of Superman, I thought was a great idea. Even to the design of the pocket pop, where he's flying through the air instead of just, they could have easily taken this pose and just made it a pocket pop, but they did a good job with making it something different as well. So I really like the direction they went with Superman. Again, there's not a whole lot you can do with Superman. Superman is Superman. There aren't a lot of different ways to go, but I thought they did a pretty good job of this. I'm giving this box a B+, and the B+ is because I didn't really like the patch that much. And again, Superman's not a great character for this kind of box because Superman is Superman. There's not a whole lot of different ways you can go with it. So B+, I didn't like the patch. The pin was a little bit boring. I dug the figures. The comic was pretty regular, and the shirt was good. So B plus for sure, maybe even an A minus. It's hard to go wrong with these boxes, and you guys know I always love them. I'm a fanboy of the Funko stuff, so I never give them a low score just because it's hard for them to screw it up. In this case, I think there was one or two things that I really didn't like that much, so that's where the B plus A minus comes from. But other than that, good box as always. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. Throw a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing some more boxes, and also make sure you stay tuned tomorrow. This is gonna actually probably today. This is gonna post Saturday morning. Later today, which I guess about 6 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to have my next live stream where I'm going to actually unbox a couple of different things. So hope to see you there. This will be kind of late in the day posting, because I'm actually filming it on Friday, posting it on Saturday. So stay tuned for that later today. And if you miss it, you know, it'll be up on the channel as well. As always, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And we will see you later. Bye-bye.